Throughout American history, we've celebrated icons like Washington, Lincoln, and Kennedy. But what about the ones history doesn't talk about? The forgotten presidents, the controversial leaders, the ones erased, not by accident, but by design. Today, we uncover the presidents they tried to erase from history. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll see American history in a whole new light. Let's start in the mid-1800s, a chaotic time of expansion, slavery debates, and Civil War tension. Most people can't name a single president between Andrew Jackson and Abraham Lincoln. That's not by accident. Take John Tyler, for example. He became president after William Henry Harrison died just 31 days into office. But Tyler wasn't elected, and Congress called him his accidency. He was so disliked that even his own party abandoned him. When he died, the US government refused to officially mourn him. In fact, John Tyler is the only president buried under a flag of another nation, the Confederate flag. Why? Because at the start of the Civil War, Tyler joined the Confederacy. History books quietly pushed his story aside. Too messy, too inconvenient. Next up, Millard Fillmore, the 13th president. You probably never learned much about him in school. Fillmore took office after President Zachary Taylor's sudden death in 1850. He signed the Compromise of 1850, trying to preserve the fragile peace between North and South. But that included the Fugitive Slave Act, a law forcing Northerners to return escaped slaves. It was a political disaster. A century later, textbooks described Fillmore as forgettable, but the truth is, his decisions accelerated the road to the Civil War. Historians didn't erase him because he was unimportant. They erased him because his legacy was controversial. Now we come to Franklin Pierce, the 14th president, and arguably, America's saddest story. Pierce entered office during growing divisions over slavery. He supported the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which allowed new states to decide for themselves whether to allow slavery. That law caused violent riots, bleeding Kansas. Pierce's popularity collapsed. He turned to alcohol, lost his family, and was even denied renomination by his own party. He once said, "There's nothing left to do but get drunk." Today, he's almost erased from the public imagination, not because he did nothing, but because he became a living symbol of America's political failure before the Civil War. You might not recognize Chester A. Arthur, the 21st president, but his story is fascinating. He became president after James Garfield was assassinated in 1881. Arthur was seen as a corrupt machine politician, part of the spoil system. Newspapers mock him, calling him unfit. But once in office, he shocked everyone. Arthur cleaned up Washington. He signed the Pendleton Civil Service Reform Act, ending patronage and making government jobs merit-based. So why did history erase him? Because his reforms angered powerful political bosses. After his death, his party made sure his name faded into the background. A hero overshadowed by corruption he helped end. You might not recognize Chester A. Arthur, the 21st president, but his story is fascinating. He became president after James Garfield was assassinated in 1881. Arthur was seen as a corrupt machine politician, part of the spoil system. Newspapers mock him, calling him unfit. But once in office, he shocked everyone. Arthur cleaned up Washington. He signed the Pendleton Civil Service Reform Act, ending patronage and making government jobs merit-based. So why did history erase him? Because his reforms angered powerful political bosses. After his death, his party made sure his name faded into the background. A hero overshadowed by corruption he helped end. Fast forward to the 1920s, Warren G. Harding, the 29th president. He promised a return to normalcy after World War I. But what history remembers him for are the scandals. After his death, the Teapot Dome scandal exploded, revealing bribery and corruption deep in his administration. Harding himself wasn't directly guilty, but his image was destroyed. His wife burned many of his personal papers to protect his reputation, and historians quietly left him out of great presidents' lists for decades. Was Harding corrupt, or just surrounded by bad men? Either way, America's history books wrote him off as a disgrace. After Harding came Calvin Coolidge, known as Silent Cal. He believed government should interfere as little as possible in people's lives. Under him, America boomed. The Roaring Twenties took off. But when the Great Depression hit years later, Coolidge's hands-off philosophy was blamed. Textbooks portrayed him as lazy or irrelevant. Yet, in truth, Coolidge oversaw one of the most prosperous eras in US history. He just didn't fit the dramatic narrative. No wars, no scandals, no drama. So, history forgot him. Each of these presidents, Tyler, Fillmore, Pierce, Arthur, Harding, Coolidge, shaped America in ways we rarely acknowledge. They weren't heroes or villains, but human beings navigating impossible challenges. Their erasure teaches us something important. History isn't just what happened. It's what we choose to remember. So next time you hear about America's great presidents, remember the ones history tried to erase. Because sometimes, the forgotten names tell the real story of America. Thanks for watching. If you love uncovering lost stories from America's past, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next deep dive.